Ow, it is regular episode time again.
Not a movie.
Not a movie. We gotta talk about these regular episodes. Back into the filler we go.
Yay, filler time.
Right into the deep end.
Right in the deep end with things that will absolutely not matter in the future.
True. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Nope, wrong podcast. Jared and I'll watch Inuyasha. It is episode 98. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Ladium.
Hello.
We are discussing episode 96 or season 4, episode 14, entitled Jaken Falls 3. Oh, sorry, that's Jaken Falls Ill. Excuse me.
Falls 3.
Falls 3. Yeah, Jaken's gonna get sick.
Yep.
Gonna get real ill. So yeah, we kicked this episode off when we are hanging out with Sesshomaru, Rin, and Jaken for the first time in like 7 years.
Yeah, it feels like forever since we hung out with them.
Mm-hmm. So they're just doing things. Ren gets hungry and wants to go get food. But then a big hand comes out and tries to grab her, and Sesshomaru comes in and slices it in half, and it turns out to be a bunch of bees.
He also did a sweet pirouette.
He did at one point do a sweet pirouette and then just went blah. But yeah, they got to fight off a lot of bees, and he makes Jaken go to find the hive. Jaken tries to fight off the bees for a bit, but gets overwhelmed, and then Sesshomaru shows back up again and just wipes them out and takes down the hive as well. And they're like, "Oh yay, everything's fine, woohoo!" But then Jaken gets stung twice by 2 of the bees.
Jeez.
He's like, "Oh God, I'm dying. Ren, get these stingers out." And she just like watches them slowly go into his skin. She's like, "Oh, sorry, I couldn't do it."
No,
He's like, "No, I'm going to die now."
He's so dramatic.
He is very dramatic. He is definitely trying to win an Oscar here. Sesshomaru runs off after the bees that were weakened to see where they're going to head off to, and then Jaken is basically like, "Oh, I'm dying. I'm going to die. See you later." And Ren's like, "No, don't die on me." He's like, "Okay, well, if you want to save me, go find this dude named Jinenji, and he's got these berries that are an antidote, and they'll save me, but only before the sun sets. Oh, woe is me. I am struggling." So Rin heads off to see Jinenji, who we got reminded about early on in the beginning of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which we didn't even mention the opening.
Well, they're just hanging out, walking around. That's it.
Well, I just meant like how it
Oh,
gives
yes,
us
new opening. You're right. There is a new opening.
a new opening, and the recap of like, here's this thing, and then this is where they reminded us of Joninji. But yeah, it gave us a pretty weird recap, and
Hey,
the
I'm
audio
Inuyasha. I'm trying to
the,
find the Raku.
and the audio mixing is so bad.
Yeah, on the actual song, the audio mixing was very poor. Just, do you want to hear the instrumentals and not the vocals? Well, here you go.
Rip.
So there's that. But yeah, Rin goes off to find Jinenji. She finds him, and he's curled up under a blanket because he's in his human form. Doesn't want anyone to see him, which is, as you mentioned, code for we don't have a design for that, so we're just not going to animate it.
Mm-hmm.
Which fair.
Yep.
The old lady's like, "Hey, you can't get these berries." He doesn't want anyone to see him, but she persists, and he's like, "She acts like Kagome. Well, here's where you go to find them. They're on the mountain, but there's a bunch of demons and monsters there. If you're a human, you'll probably die. Good luck." She's like, "Oh,
We
whatever."
were also like, she doesn't look anything like Kagome other than they have black hair. I was like, but they're Japanese, so like that's not unusual to have black hair.
No.
But whatevs.
So yeah, Inuyasha and the gang are just walking around. They find the bees flying about, and they're like, "That's weird. We should probably follow them." And then they just like bloop because they don't have any stingers. They fall over dead. And Sesshomaru immediately shows up afterwards, like, "Inuyasha, you killed these, didn't you? You idiot! I was trying to follow them." And Inuyasha's like, "Dude, I didn't kill them. What are you talking about?" Sesshomaru's like, "I will not hear your excuses. Have at thee."
I'm going to murder you.
And they fight a bunch because I guess we needed something else in this episode to entice people to keep watching.
Yep.
So they fight a little bit, and then Inuyasha loses his sword, and Sesshomaru's about to like, "Oh, I'm going to kill you now." And then Kagome's like, "Hey, you wanted to find Raku, right? Go to the Ox Tiger." And he's like,
Okay.
Okay. Well, your life has been
Thank
spared
you.
this time. See you later.
Bye.
Meanwhile, Ren's trying to find the berries. Aon is just like obliterating demons to keep her safe. She eventually finds them on top of a cliff or like on a cliff face, and she's climbing up to get them and finally gets them, but she starts to fall. Oh no, she's falling.
Oh no.
But Sesshomaru like grabs her and saves her from falling to her doom. And then Jaken, in his time of need, realizes the sun is setting, but also the sun is setting for him. He's like, I'm gonna die. Ren didn't make it. Oh no.
Oh
My
no.
vision is so blurry. I'm thinking of Puddle of Mud's blurry now.
Oh no.
And then he sees Sesshomaru. He's like, am I really seeing things? Oh my gosh, it's Sesshomaru. And then Sesshomaru just like tosses him the berries, and then Jaken eats them like a gremlin.
Little gremlin.
And he's like, hey, I feel better. And Ren's asleep. And then she eventually wakes up and sees Jaken's better. She's like, oh, Jaken, you're better. I'm so glad you didn't die on me. He's like, get off of me. Shoo.
Bleh.
She also thinks she's dead. He's like, did I die? Did I fall off the cliff and die and we're both dead now? He's like, no, Sesshomaru saved you dummy.
You dummy.
She's like, yay, you're better. Yay, we saved. Yay. And
Yay.
Sesshomaru immediately like, Naraku's to the northeast, is he? And we were both like, how do you know what a direction is? That's not like the ox tiger.
Right.
How do you know what northeast is? And he sets off, and then we'll probably see him in like 30 episodes. I don't know.
Right.
Okay, so here's our notes for this episode. Apparently, you're going to spoil me on something. Grip is the opening theme as of this episode, marking the first appearance of an opening that wasn't hand-drawn. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Let me see if I can click on this, and we'll find out if there's more information about it. Grip, exclamation point. Nope, it's just, here's about, it's talking about the opening. Or the recap of the opening, and then that's about it. The second Inuyasha movie, The Castle Beyond the Looking Glass, which we watched last week, was there between this episode and episode 95. The bees are shown to shapeshift on their own. They previously merged with Muso to recreate his destroyed limbs. Jinenji is not seen until nightfall as he is hiding his human form. This is the first time a Hanyo is shown to have their mortal transformation period during the day instead of at night. Yeah, we do see him at night later because the gang shows up at his place and is like, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh yeah, there was this lady, this little girl who looked like Kagome. She was very pure-hearted. And he also like, she's got a small heart. What do you mean?
What a dumbass.
Inuyasha's group are shown to learn the name of the poisonous insects used by Naraku, despite Moroku having used the name in the previously aired The Castle Beyond the Looking Glass.
Which we talked about during the movie episode.
Sesshomaru learns where to look for Naraku to the northeast. And finally, the possibility of reviving Jaken with the Tenseiga should he succumb to his illness is never considered. However, it is later revealed in episode 9 of the final act, which we'll get to in like 7 years,
Yep.
though currently unknown to Sesshomaru and his gang, that a person can only be revived by the Tenseiga once, meaning that Jaken would not be able to be resurrected a second time. I feel like they've talked about that before.
Have they?
I feel like that makes I've heard that before. Like that makes, or it just makes sense that he wouldn't be able to like revive people more than once.
Right.
So I mean, I guess that's a spoiler, but like also it feels like I knew that already.
And I might have mentioned it when I was doing my my sequel watch.
Maybe.
Because it's a plot that happens there too.
Maybe. Either way.
You knew it, but yeah, you get to find out more about that in a couple years.
A bajillion episodes from now. Bajillion.
A bajillion.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for us this week. Next time we'll be discussing episode 97 entitled Kirara Come Home. Because Kirara is gonna run away from home.
No, come back.
Kirara, come back. This description of this episode is so long.
Oh no.
Holy cow.
Oh no.
This is a filler episode.
Yep.
Anyways, that's what we'll talk about next time. But for now, if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. You can follow us on Blue Sky at seasonalanimecheckup.com. And you can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. So join us next time as we make Kirara come home.